What's up, ladies and gents? I'm your host, Trainer1, and we have another Star Citizen video for you all today. It has been quite some time since we have actually played Star Citizen. This is a game I've always played like in my downtime whenever I've got a little bit of time to myself, and I'm, not worried about recording or trying to play a game or platinum a game or something like that. I usually come and play Star Citizen. However, it has been a good 6, 7, 8 months since I've played Star Citizen, so I finally decided to pick it back up, see what's changed, see how the game is running today. So this is a unedited, unscripted, just straight up going into the game and seeing how it plays. Remember, folks, it is alpha. You're going to see some weird stuff happen. It's just inevitable. This game has been in development for over 12 years, and we're finally getting to the point where it's almost 4.0 release, which is kind of really giving the envision of the game kind of what they originally envisioned is starting to happen. Obviously, there's also Squadron 42 that's happening. I'll make sure that I'll leave my star card on, or my kind of like the numbers that you could use if you do decide to want to get this game and try it out. If you use those numbers, then that when you're applying, you'll get some extra credits in game. So if you want to support the channel that way, you can use that. I'll leave that, of course, on top of the video and in the description. But I wanted to, test this out. This is 3.24. See how it runs. See what's going on, and let's dive in. So obviously there's the new character customization. I'm not even really sure if I've shown this off before. This is a really, really cool character customization. It's so different from the previous. This is the character that I have created here. There's so much you can do with this character, from moving around stuff. I mean, you can literally mold it exactly the way that you want. Not only that, you can go over to review and say you can click this button here, and then you can load up some different ones. I labeled this one Sexy Man, but if I wanted to load up Poop, there's Poop. Poop's a little different. He's not as sexy as Sexy Man, but yeah, Sexy Man's just a little bit sexier. But there's so much that you can do between the hairstyles to make them look different. All kinds of stuff. You could really, I mean, let's just say that this game has some amazing hair physics. Probably some of the best, in my opinion. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show off a little bit of that. We're going to go with that look right there. I like that the most. And what's really, really cool is, you can change the natural hair color dye. So if you want to change it to green, blue, whatever, you can do that. I like to leave it on like a little pinkish just because it's funny. But then you can change the natural hair to that as well. So like, say if you wanted to go there and then go up to black, then you can make it kind of stand out a little bit more by the gradient. As you can see, you can change all kinds of things from it. It's amazing. You can do the roots so that it does the opposite of what you would think, which means, let's say you take, the roots black, you can take the roots white, and then you can change this and make that black and have it stand out more. I mean, there's just so much that you can actually do with all this, but we're going to keep it for now with black and then a little bit pinkish for fun. Not too much, but just enough. But not only that, you can go into your beard settings here. Obviously, you can change what type of beard you want. I mean, there's just so many options here that actually look just stunning, absolutely stunning. I like this look the best, I think. But this one's also a really good one here. Reminds me of my good friend Dan Q8000. But anyways, we're going to go back to our normal one, which is this one right here. Kind of looks the best in my opinion. Let's see, anything else? So like I said, your DNA, you can change your skin color, the type, your eyes, to change whatever color you want that to be. I like to go kind of like a little blue. If you want to add some freckles and things like that, you can do all of that. You can sculpt, or you can blend, selecting from each one of these, and depending on what you do, you can either go up or down with the nose, depending on where you're highlighting that specific area. So there's a lot of customization. I don't want to dig too deep into it, but the customization's pretty cool in this game. So lots and lots to discuss. So let's go ahead and get started here. We've accepted it. We're going to start up the tutorial, so that means we're going to go through the specific tutorial that this game offers. Again, this is called Star Citizen. It is still an alpha, so it's going to be a little rough around the edges, but let's just see if it's improved any at this point. We have 4 different locations as of right now. Once 4.0 comes out, we're going to have a whole new star system that you're going to be able to spawn from. So this will pretty essentially double in size here once 4.0 finally comes out. You'll see a little error, see how that's like, that shouldn't be there right now. Obviously, they're still fixing stuff. So we've got Loreville, which is kind of like your industrial location, which really is kind of like your workers area. And there's pros and cons to each and every location that you decide to pick. Say for instance, New Babbage is going to be the area that like is really kind of cool and modern, but it's on a planet that is furthest from the sun. So in this specific region here, what happens is obviously the farther away from your sun, it's going to be colder, meaning that there's going to be, this is a planet like full of ice and coldness, but it has the most modern kind of look to it. Area 18 is more of your kind of fancier place, I guess you could say, because the entire planet is pretty much a city. All the way around. So think Coruscant from Star Wars. Orison is very cool. It is what you're looking at right now, which is the gas giant planet here. Obviously, you can't land. So Orison is kind of like a city in the clouds. Think Cloud City from Star Wars. Really, really cool location and place to start from. Leads you into one of the most popular areas once you get above the planet, and you can search around. Really, all of these places are very, very popular with, you know, different types of biomes and stuff, different planets, different moons, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard for me to say which is the best place to start from. But I'm just gonna go with Orison, only because it's the original location area of where this game got its form. Like obviously when 2.0 came out so many years ago, you were at a space station above this planet. So now you're actually on this planet, and then you start in the planet itself, and then you can go up. But again, this is not a planet that you can actually boots to ground, because it is a gas giant. So therefore it's all in the cloud. So let's start at Orison, just because it's a nice, really kind of look. I actually kind of let you see the different, more industrial there. You can see Orison is very, very pretty, beautiful. This is kind of like your, I guess you could say it's rich too, but that's only because it's like a huge planet for a city. It's a huge city. And then New Babbage is kind of like an awesome place. They're all really great locations, but we're going to go with Orison. We got it set for the best server location. Everything should be good to go. It's been a while since I've played. I'll try to do the best that I can as far as remembering how to do things. I'm sure some things have changed since the last time that I've played. So it's hard for me to say whether or not, you know, this game has too many differences. I don't know if you see that or not, but in the top right, something maybe should have appeared, but if the game captures the game itself, it's probably not going to appear since it's an overlay. But I'll let you guys know if it doesn't appear, how many frames I'm getting at every specific moment that we're going into this. I just don't know if it's going to show up, but I use NVIDIA's RTX 4090, so therefore I get NVIDIA's kind of system where they allow you to have these kind of stats on the screen so you can see how your games are running and change things within your GPU and all that good stuff. And I've decided not to do any edits, so you're not going to cut out any loading screens or anything like that, so you can see just how long it'll take you to get in the game. It's probably going to take you maybe even longer to get in the game, depending on what system you have. I have an RTX 4090 with a Intel processor, i9 13900K with 64 gigabytes of RAM. But unfortunately, this game is at a state where, yes, it does matter what rig you're running, but it doesn't have as much effect on how many frames you get at all, because frames are tied to servers. So until we get 4.0, when server meshing comes in, and I know maybe some of you don't understand what that is, and that's fine. It's just a new way for the game to load in its assets to allow more time, to allow better resources to be handled correctly, so you can get higher frames, essentially. So here we are. So the game is in first person. You can switch to third-person view if you are so inclined. However, the game does not function in third person. You can do third person, but as soon as you try to do an action or anything like that, it'll automatically switch back to first person. So the game is really only a view-only aesthetic for prettiness in third person. The game really can't be run to its full extent in third person at this time. As you can see, we're above the clouds. That's where the whole Cloud City thing comes in. And we're going to get up. So if I remember correctly, you can press F4 to go into third person. Now, it might be a little weird right there because you can move the camera around, but here is our character. You can see we have, I guess, an outfit on that maybe we had on before the last time we played or something like that. Could be the reason why you see an outfit. So let's stand up. It only looks like that because it's a camera situation because I'm moving the camera around. But there we are. So that's how our character looks in game. It's a very beautiful looking game. I'm getting roughly right now 64 frames, 65. It just goes in and out. But obviously that's going to change the more that we kind of move around. You can use the mouse in order to slow down your movement so you kind of have more realistic movements, as you can see. And then you can look around with your head. So that's all controlled by your mouse here. Now, if I were to turn VoIP on, like you would hear me in the game, right? So you could go into, say, here, go into options, and there should be a comms for VoIP. Head tracking if you've got a Tobii eye tracker or something like that, or that way you can like move your head around and it'll move the head around itself. It's great for when you're in the cockpit view and you want to look to the right without actually moving your head fully to the right. That works really, really well. But essentially you can just set your thing to this, set your whatever mic you have set for it, and I'm not going to turn it on right now, but what happens is when I talk, you'll see the character's movements move, and you can also set it up to a web camera so that my entire expressions, when I open my eyes or close my eyes, the character will do the same thing. But they're still fleshing all of that out, and obviously, you know, I don't use it right now, but it's something you can use. So now that we got the camera situated here, you can have it right behind the character for that kind of third-person immersive setting here. But I prefer not to do that. You know, obviously this game really, really runs in first person. So, all right, this is your starting area. Now, this is just the location that we picked. We would have a different room from a different planet or moon, or actually a planet, because most of them start on the planets. Yeah, you can do things. Pretty much F is your all to, so F will be able to open and close specific things. You can either hold it, so that way you can select it yourself like that. And then you can go in, you can pick up stuff, you can turn things on, close. There's going to be things, if you look down below, you can see that we are 65% in our water down on the left and 78% in our food intake, meaning that you need to eat something or drink something in order to get your stats back up, because even though you won't necessarily die the moment that happens, you'll start to really, really kind of, your character will start to get sick, and slow down, and you won't have full health and things like that, and eventually it will kill you. So it looks like we got a water bottle right here in front of us and some food. So I'll show how that kind of works. So let's do the eating first. So we're going to hold down F, click the mouse to do that, and then it's going to eat. And then as you can see, we have already ate it. We ate that whole thing. Now if we go back to first person, you can see 100% in the food. Now we're going to do the same thing with this. All right, what's going to happen is, in order to drink this, you have to make sure your helmet's off, of course, and then hold down the left trigger, or the left mouse, and then, as you can see, you'll drink. And if you're in first person, you can see the numbers go up, and now, boom, you're good to go. So you'll keep something like this here. Now, obviously, we are a decent human being, and we are not someone who's just going to leave trash on the ground. So let's pick it up. Let's, at least you can put it, I see you got a little fridge there. But let's put it right here. You can place the thing, so all you have to do is go over to where it is, click on it, and then you can, say, place it back up there. That way you leave it out. There's like trash cans and stuff, so if you're really, really tidy about the environment, do the right thing and put all of your waste in the trash. But there's just so many different really, really cool things here. You can open that up. So if you wanted to store your own food or whatever, you can have your own mix of food. You can press Control, get you all the way down in like a prone position. C will get you down in this position here. So what I want to do is, you can select an item like by holding down F and then moving around like that as well. We're going to click on this, and then we're going to set it. I don't know if you can actually set it inside here. I think you should be able to, but it might not work. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it does kind of work. Kinda. Obviously that stuff will, you know, be ironed out and fixed. Yeah, so as you can see, there's these little sections here. This is where you're going to like store items and stuff like that in your apartment, or, you know, whatever house you buy or something. You know, it's just kind of giving you an instance of that. Each room has these things here where you'll be able to have, you can put like helmets here. You see you got a helmet there. You can equip it. You can attach it to your outfit. Let's just say we equipped it. The box will disappear, and then if we look at our character, you can see that we actually have a helmet on now. So there's other ways to do that too by holding down I. I know it looks really weird right now, so let me take that off. Back up a little bit because the camera goes out in front of you when you do this. So when you hold down I, the camera's like right in front of you. This is your, essentially, they've changed some things here, clearly, because now I actually do not see my inventory here on the right. So what normally would happen is you would have all of your inventory and all of your items would be right here on the right. They've changed this. This has been updated, I guess, since the last time I played. So you still have this. This tells you what's in your core armor, like what's inside here, what's inside your legs, how much units you can put. Each item has a specific unit. Like, say, if I were to take my helmet here, you could see that this would exceed the size, meaning I can't fit my helmet inside my armor, and I can't fit my helmet inside my leg armor. So that's how you know what you can fit inside. You can zoom in on your character, you know, you can move in and out and all that kind of stuff to get a good sense of what's around you. But that's a little introduction into that. So here, I believe if you come over here, this is your storage access. So this is where now all of your items are stored. So you can see all the different helmets and stuff that we have. Now, you're not going to start with all of this. Because if it's your first time coming in, depending on what you've bought or what you've not done, this is stuff that I've gotten over many years of playing this in the game, and it's still added to my account. There was a time where I was a subscriber for a good 2 years of this game, so I would get free items that I could use forever, even though I'm not a subscriber anymore, obviously, because I can't afford it. So if you want to help the channel out, selfish plug, become a member, Patreon, use the donation link, or leave a super chat or something like that. It all helps just to keep being able to continue to show off these videos and you know, help the channel continue to grow and pay the bills. But as you can see, we got all kinds of things. You can sort it by armor, clothing, which meaning like if you're on an actual planet or something like that, or you're inside a station, you'll be able to walk around in normal clothes. You don't have to have a helmet on or something like that. But obviously, if you're in space, you're not going to put this stuff on. You got weapons. As you can clearly see, many different styles of weapons that you can have. You can put it in your inventory. So if, like, say you wanted to take an SMG here, you can see that we can fit this inside our leg armor. Although, actually it says yellow, so I'm not really sure how that... You can do quick equip there. So I think what I'm still trying to learn this system, because normally what I would see is our character right here. But I don't see the character right there. So what it looks like is happening is yes, so our character's there, but it's not showing up right now for whatever reason. It's just being a little weird. So I'm just going to click it onto there, so that way once we come out of here, you'll see that these things were added to my uniform. We can put them in different spots. We can take, like, say, one of this, and I can put this attachment on. What else can I do here? Let's see, utility. Let's take the multi-tool. We got different attachments. Got mining. We have tractor beam, which is what we want to do. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to place it here. Even though, just think of your character being right here. Obviously, it's a glitch right now. And then I'm going to take this tractor beam, and I'm going to set it right here, because that's where I just put that. So it should fit in kind of perfect. Ammunition, if you have any vehicles, all the weapons that we have on our ships, and paints that we have from the different ships and things like that. Substance. Our substance, this is like things that you can drink and eat, will be in here. But yeah, so there's that. So let's exit out of there. Now if we look at our character, you'll see that we have a weapon on. And we have all the things that we just put on. So you can see that we have our pistol down there on the bottom right. We've got our SMG right there on our back. And then we have our tool on the left side here. You can also equip backpacks and things like that, so that way you can carry more things if you go around in the environment on different planets, and say, you know, you're raiding and looting, and let's say you take out a bunch of enemies and you want to loot what they have, then you'll be able to use a backpack, which will in turn be able to store things for you. But yeah, that's how that system works. Now let's do what the journal says for us to do. It says press F1 to access the Moby glass, then select the journal from the bottom row of icons. You can see we have the chat in the left side. You can take that on or off, I believe, by F12. Yep, it still works. That way you guys can see what everyone in the in your server. I think there's 50 people to a server. I could be wrong. It may be 100 now. I don't know. It's been a while since I played the game, and I don't want to give you any false information. But there's a lot of people that can be in your server. So let's press F1. This is your Moby Glass. Your Moby Glass is kind of like your gateway to everything in the game. It's going to tell you how your vital signs are, how much health you have. It's going to tell you where just everything is. Your journal, your ability to be able to do missions is going to be received from here. Your health, comms, contracts, the maps of the areas you're currently in the star system. Assets, meaning the things that you own. So let's say if you had a specific vehicle you wanted to change its weapons out, this is where you would do it from this menu here. Also the landing thing, let's say you're in your ship and you're sitting on a landing pad and you need to refuel, then you would bring this menu up right here and this would show you how you can do that. Your wallet, let's say you want to send credits to someone that you're playing with because they want to buy a certain weapon and they don't have enough, then you could send it to them by putting their name in. So that's how you can help other people out. Currently I have a total of 77,493 points. Obviously I have that much because of something previously or whatever. I actually remember having over 1 million, but every now and then a game will do a wipe and you'll have to start over and then you'll get more money. So I have no idea what I got 77,000 from. You'll get some money from starting the game, and of course if you use my star code or whatever, then you will be able to have an extra I think 5,000 credits to help you be able to get a weapon or two or a different outfit or something like that. It's pretty cool. So make sure you use that code in the description, and I have it flashed on the screen. So for instance, let's take a look at the maps. So this tells you that we are on floor number 8 of this specific facility. And you can see where your character is. This is your home. This is where our character is, or essentially this is where you would need to go to continue your mission that you're currently on right now. You can zoom out and you can see that this is the planet Crusader. You can move it around. You have the different locations here. From the prospector point, and there's different ones that you could click on, and the more you zoom out, the more the map will open, and you can see these are the moons of the location. There's Selin, Yela, and Daymar. Those are your moons in this specific planet, and if you keep zooming out, you'll get even further, and you'll see that there is, what is this here? That's Crew L1, so think of it as like a station point in between the planets. So if you don't have enough gas to make it, then you'll be able to fuel up, and you can do mining in these locations too. But continue to zoom out, and you'll see the entirety of the Stanton system. This is what we have available to everyone as of right now, which another system is coming very soon, supposedly at the end of the year, but CIG is notorious for, having things not come out exactly when they say they're supposed to. So 4.0 is supposed to come at the end of the year, where you're going to finally have 2 systems to mess around in, but right now it's still just 1. So there's the sun. Then you've got the planet Hurston, which was that was where Lorville was. Microtech, which is the furthest planet from the star. That is where one of the other locations was, and of course Artcore, which is that big city area 18 location. So I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of that. So lots, and there's so much you can do technically with this system. I mean, let's say you went to Hurston and you went to, let's say, Ariel, which is one of the moons of Hurston, and then it has landing zones. You can click on those landing zones and you can see information about them, how it has a landing pad, vehicle services, a garage, commodity trading. There's all kinds of information that you're going to be able to see. And depending on when you're on a station, then you'll get a map for that station, so you'll be able to know how to get around, things like that. It's very, very detailed, and it looks a lot better than it used to, so definitely they've upgraded. I'm still not a 100% fan of the colors that they use. Sometimes they can be really hard to see, like when you're on a planet and the colors kind of mix differently when you're flying and stuff, but we'll get to that when we get to that point. So it said we needed to go to the journal, and we have our tutorial mode. So this tells you the universe of Star Citizen is a dynamic place, providing players with the ability to interact with much of the environment around them. The foundation of this ability is the game's interaction mode. And this is essentially what you use with the F button. It really kind of tells you how to do everything. And then your little tutorial here. So now that we've actually done that, we've also done the interaction, we can click the X button here. And now it should say a different objective, which is, it says it right there. open the door. Interact with the door to exit the hab, and once you leave, you will not be able to return. So here's the thing. Eventually, you're going to have your own places that you can buy, and then you'll be able to come back time and time again. However, in this game, you can leave some of your stuff here. Like, this is a place where you can put, you know, like your weapons if you wanted to and all that. Eventually, what's going to happen is all this will be available to you at any time. However, once you open that door and you leave, you won't be able to come back here unless... well, really, I don't think you can come back here at all. The reason is because now when you die, you actually go to the medical facility of wherever it is your starting location is, as opposed to your room. So I really don't think you can come back here. So you will not actually be able to return. So say goodbye to your apartment, and you can do that because there's actually like different, I don't even know the names. Focus. You can focus, you can zoom in. I'm still, you know, it's been so long, I don't even know how to bring up the secondary menu. Maybe it'll tell me, hopefully, as we go through this tutorial. So let's go ahead and leave. Again, you can just press F or hold it down and then select it with your mouse. And here we are. Right now it's currently nighttime. It's called the Green Circle Habitation Orison. And as you can see, we are above in the clouds. So if I were to jump off here, I would just fall endlessly before I die. So obviously not something you want to do. So far, I'm getting still 50 frames with my 4090. So just because I get 50 doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get 50 on a lower machine. It just really depends on how the server is running at the moment, as really the FPS is not tied to your graphical settings that much. Maybe a little bit, but not as much. So we can do the mouse scroll up in order to kind of run a little bit faster. You can see the movements that you move when you're moving around here. You can still press and hold shift to run, to like fast run. You have to hold it down. But you can still run without holding shift. That won't cause your stamina to go up as much, but if you hold shift, your stamina will eventually go down, and you need to be careful because instead of, there's no stamina system in this game, there's actually a system that requires you to look at what your heart rate is. So if your heart rate goes up too high, then you need to stop for a while. It's kind of, I wouldn't say real life, but it's trying to base it off of that. Anytime you see an area like this, doesn't matter what it is, any place that you think you could sit down, you can sit. And you just press F. Again, F is your friend. F is the key that does everything. Again, you can do this either by just pressing it, or you can hold it down and then move your mouse around and then select where you want to sit like that as well. Interact with the door and leave. When looking at the control panel, hold F and use to press the floor you're on. Now, when you're in here, it can get a little confusing when you're trying to look at this. As you can see, I'm just looking in the direction, and and it gives you the options. It goes down just by looking, and then you just press F and it'll select it. Or you can do a hold down F, click in the middle mouse button, and then it'll be more kind of centered on this, so you can make sure you select the right one. You can go to the roof if you wanted to, but you can see how many different floors there are here. You can go to each floor you want, of course, but we're going to go to the lobby. Alright, so this is the main lobby of this area. If you look in your top left, you're going to see your map. That map is going to show you essentially what this area is all about. Again, you can open your map specifically by pressing F2. Usually. Except for now, I guess that doesn't work that way. So F2 doesn't work anymore, so you need to go into maps here to do it. Maybe you can select a certain button and it's just not selected right now. You can pretty much select any key you want to do anything you want. You can have this fully automized to whatever it is that you want every single button to do. But here's the green circle. It tells you where food and drinks are, so if you need to set a location point, you can do that. You can set route. Like you see, we're at the Green City Apartments right here. Let's say I wanted to go to food and drinks. Right there, it'll tell me exactly what I need to do to get over to where food and drinks are. And then, yeah, so you can no longer press F2, at least for right now. Now, when you see that on there, you'll look, and oh, there's another actual player character right there. You can invite them to the party. That's a real person there. That's a real boy. But as you see in your map on the top left, you can see how it's kind of like got a little guidance to tell you where the food and drinks are. So you would just need to follow here, and it'll tell you where to go to get to, you know, your heart's desire. And you just follow that, and you can keep going to where it is that you're telling you that it wants to go. But we're just going to do a little looking around here for a second. Because the vistas and the views are just absolutely amazing. We're still getting decent frames too. I like to see that. Alright, so we're going to head down. Once you get to the point of where you set a route, then it'll automatically disappear. So let's go over here and view the map. Now, if you want to see videos of me exploring these areas, I'm more than happy to do so. Just let me know in the comments. If this video obviously gets enough comments, remember, comments really help the channel out, so they continue to motivate me, as well as showing YouTube that this is a channel that you like to watch videos from and love, and that just helps us out, period. So make sure you always comment and leave a like. It really does help. I love these things here because they can be moved around by the wind and stuff like that. It's really cool. This is a very, very beautiful location, but you're getting it at nighttime. It looks even better, I think, in the daytime. There are many locations here that you can travel to. The hospital is over there. So let's say I would to pass away for any instance. I would spawn at that hospital right now in a gown, and then they'd give me a free uniform if you didn't have one, and then that's how you can continue your adventure as of right now. These things obviously will change as the game continues its development and whatnot, but you're able to set your spawn points at different locations. So if we go up to a space station and we want to spawn from there, then we can set that location as our new spawn point, and then we'll spawn from the hospital at that space station instead of down here. But then you got to remember that you're no longer on the planet where you have all of your items. So that means you'd have to come back here to get all of your items, unless you moved them from this place to your ship, and then your ship to the next location that you would rather spawn from. So it's a very, you know, there's a lot of detail in this game. But for those that like to keep it simple, it's easier to get into, especially since they have a tutorial. It will take some time to figure a lot of things out, but you will eventually be able to get it. And there's so many players here that want to help to you know, help you along the way. All right, so cities and space stations are filled with signs to help guide you. You can also access a map on your mobiGlas by hitting F2. So it looks like now, okay, it doesn't seem to be working. Yeah, so F2 does not seem to be working right now. Maybe I don't have that switched on for whatever reason, but to sprint, hold left shift, to crouch, circle, to jump, spacebar, and depending on the gravity that you're in,
the shuttle is preparing to depart.
It'll be different. All right, so our next location is to come over here, head to Kel 2. I mean, as you can see, you can also, if you hold down Z, you can move the camera around while you're moving. You'll continue to move straight, and you can just focus on looking at your character and things like that. Then you'll let go, and you'll control your person again. It's that simple. All right, so we're headed over here. They've updated this so much since the last time I've played, so this is almost all new to me as well. So there might be some things that I may explain wrong, or some things that have changed. So I do apologize if that is the situation.
If you're not seeing something, you might want to check out our Spectrum selection.
All right, so this is where it wanted us to go. This is a basic shop where you can pick up items. Also, it looks like there's different outfits for you to pick up here. So whenever you do missions, or you go around and you loot and you get money and you do things like that, then you can use that money and spend it in shops from all over the universe. So it says we need to go here. So these are little kiosks. All kinds of different things for you to buy at these locations. You can do couches, chairs. All this stuff can be put in your, from what I hear, I haven't experienced it yet myself, because this is my first time playing 3.24. You now have your own personal hangar in the game, and you can put these items inside your hangar to make it feel cozy and comfortable. So these are those types of things that you can put in there, I believe. Other than that, I'm not too sure about it. You got categories: decorating, clothing, armor. So every place is going to have different types of armor and different things. Here, you just got Venture Core, legs, arms, and your regular core with your helmet. Which is probably what I have on right now, I think. I have to look again, but yeah, so you got armor, personal weapons. Only specific weapons will be at specific places, so just keep that in mind. If you're looking for a particular weapon, you might have to go online or memorize where they are as you go around to each and every single shop in different locations, and then find out what it is that you're wanting and what you can buy and purchase. Not only that, but you also have the option of choosing where you want it stored. So like, see, here's the destination. Notice before when we had our inventory up, I showed you that I had a core, which is like your chest area, and then your legs. So if I wanted to say send this directly to my legs or to my core, you could do that as well. Or you can send it to Orison, and then that means you'll just need to click the inventory that we did in our room, and then it'll be there. So there you go. All right, so head to the Orison Skyway Transit Terminal. Now, again, these are the easiest ways to shop, but you don't need to do that. If you want to, you can literally go up to the item itself and then do it from here. So you can inspect the item. Let's say I wanted to inspect this pistol here. So I'm just going to hit F, and it'll show up in your hand, and you can see what they look like. You can move it around, rotate it with the mouse just by going left and right. It's pretty cool. There's different types of inspections that you can do, bringing it in, and then if you want to exit, just hit E. And you can do the same exact thing for every single weapon here. Put it in your arm, you can take a look how it looks. It's pretty cool. The detail in this game is still today some of the best graphics in my opinion. Obviously things are looking better and better, of course, but this game has not been left behind just yet, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, very basic, simple, only really 3 different types of weapons here: pistol, SMG, and a shotgun. But there's way more weapons than that, and each place will have different ones. Again, if you're shopping for items, quick buy, different things like that, these are like energy and food type of items that you'll need to get. You can store it in your suit or whatever. Chocolate bars, different types of things. Burritos, they've got hot dogs. I mean, there's all different kinds of stuff. Drinks, you know, they give you different attributes as well. So, you know, yeah, you can just do different things. It says I have 92,000 in my wallet, although I thought it said 70-some thousand. Now all of a sudden I just got an extra 20,000. So what I think that 20,000 was is when you come into the game, you get an automatic 20,000, and I think it just took it a second to update because it didn't say I had like 72,000 and now I've got 92 and I haven't done anything. Or maybe it's giving me money from the mission, but I'm pretty sure it's what you start with. Like I said, fruits, all these types of things you can go into to be able to get. And again, that's the same thing. But this one's storage access, so if you go into here, this is actually showing you Orison itself, all the different outfits and stuff you have, just like we had in the other rooms. And what outfit do I have on currently? So it does look like I have that outfit on. Actually, no, this outfit does look a little different. I don't really know which ones I have on right now, actually. Let me hit I and I can tell. These are the max core, so we've got max cores on right now. But there's so many different outfits. They all look really, really cool. Definitely go out and get them, and you'll find a bunch of different outfits at different stations as well. Again, all these places you can sit. I mean, we're taking our time as we're going through this thing here. This whole video is going to be nothing but this tutorial, just to kind of get you wet behind the ears when it comes to the game. Especially a lot of you out there that probably have never experienced this game. There's different stores. You can take the elevator up there to go to the ones upstairs, but we're not going to do that. We'll just take a look at this one. This is a clothing store, a very expensive clothing store, like for, you know, richer, like type folk or whatever. You can see suits and ties, things like that. And again, you can just walk up to them. You can try on the shirt if I wanted to. Like, say you just press it,
You can always
it'll
use
change
your
my
Mobi if
outfit.
you want some more details on what
You
we
can
have
turn
in
your
stock.
character around so that you can actually look. Remember, he has this thing on his head right now because I currently have a helmet on, and when you wear a helmet, you put that on your head so that way, as you would normally do with a helmet on. But it lets you try on clothes so you can see how you look and different things.
We just got a few new items in. So,
All right, let's go
make
ahead
sure
and
to check
continue
them out.
on. Again, you'll see these all over the place so you can access your storage because they took out that availability in because it used to be just walk around anywhere you want and your storage is right here and you can mix and match and whatever you want on the fly. Can't do that anymore. It's starting to become like a real game now. Like a true survival-ish style game. Okay, so currently where we are going is head to the Orison Skyway Transit, which is going to be over there. You might not know where it is actually because it looks like it's not it is updating you. There it goes. Just took a second for it to appear. But again, there's way more stores, shops to look at and stuff like that. I'm just kind of going over a brief way. If you go into there, again, that's the whole medical facility where you're spawning if you die. If you go over to that building there, you can actually buy some ships. You can go to the roof, take a look at some of the ships. Really nice little kind of location over there. Yeah, a lot of this is new to me as well because of this whole new storage thing that they're doing, which is a huge update from the last time I've played. All right, so here's where we're going. We need to head to the spaceport. I believe that's where it's going to take us. Spaceport is where we're going to have a ship.
The next shuttle is approaching.
The shuttles will come every now and then. There should be a thing that tells you how many seconds away they are. This specific one is going to take us right to the spaceport, where we'll be able to go to the hangars
The next shuttle is
and
approaching the station. Last call for passengers.
leave the planet with
shuttle is
our
preparing
ships.
to depart.
I have a few different ships. However, you're not going to see them here because when you do the tutorial, it
Please clear the
takes away
hatch.
all the ships you
Shuttle
currently
will be
have, and it just puts one ship in your account so that way you can complete the tutorial. And then once you complete the tutorial, then all your ships come up. You don't have to start the game with the tutorial if you don't want to. That's, you know, entirely up to you. But it's free credits, and it helps you to get into the game a little bit so you know what to do. I've had problems with the tutorial in the past, which is why I'm kind of taking my time to make sure that it actually works really, really well. And this will just take you to where you need to go. There's no like kind of clock that tells you what time it is. Uh-oh. Okay, good. So sometimes you'll see little stutters like that. I mean, sometimes the game might freeze on you. Sometimes it might just quit entirely. And you'll start back up most likely either at the hospital or you'll start back up in your room. And it tells you how long you have until you get to the destination. This specific area has these types of shuttles where they're just floating shuttles. Other areas has trams, like you know, like a train or something like that. So depending on what planet you're on, has a different type of system that gets you around that planet. All right. You'll see graphical glitches here and there. Again, work in progress. We're getting about 72, 74 frames right now, if you can't see it.
If this is your stop, please prepare to disembark.
You can see how much I'm using 48 to 50% of my GPU. CPU's at 33% with zero lag right now. All right. So where we're at currently is Crusader, right? And the Crusader is known for a specific type of ship. And this is one of the ships that you can purchase. It's one of Crusader's ships. There's a few different ones that it'll tell you about. All right, so it says locate a fleet manager terminal. All right, so we're going to head here.
At Orson Skyway Shuttle Service, we aim to make getting there half the fun.
Remember, you just need to press F while you're looking in that direction. It'll tell you when to do that. And then here you can select it again by pressing F. We need to go to the spaceport. Because currently we're at the shuttle station. So that's why we needed to click on the spaceport. There we go. It's kind of nice playing this again. Feels nice and relaxing. This is one of those games that just helps me to relax after a stressful day too, but I have not played it in 7-8 months. So here we are. Again, you still have those little things there. If you wanted to grab as much stuff with you as you can, again, you can put a book bag on, or a backpack, I'm sorry, and that way if you want to, like say, I'll go ahead and do that because we're heading to a space station, so why not? So what I'll do is I'll go into storage here, and I'll click on it, and I'll look for a backpack. I believe, let's see where they are. Here they are. So these are the backpacks. You can see these right here. They have different ones. They have different types of capacities, so use those however you want. I'm just going to take this one. Although I don't see my character, maybe it won't let me take that one. Let me see. Maybe there we go. So that one didn't fit that. That was a specific uniform one that you have to have on, but we can put this one on. So this gives me so much more space. See how we have a backpack up here now with the core armor and the leg armor? And it has 36K as opposed to 9K and 6K. So let's say I wanted to put something up here. Now, again, this will tell you how many Ks they are. This one's comparative capacity is 8.5. See, that's 36K. I don't know if I can. Yeah, so it's too big for me to put those outfits in. It's more about for carrying things like weapons and other items such as that. Usually we'll be able to do it. There we go. See how that one fits in there? So now we have a knife in our backpack. Yeah. So it tells you the volume is 34,000 PSCU. That's 36. So you can see why that's not going to really fit in there, but just to give you an idea of everything. So now if we look at ourselves with F4 and we turn this around a little bit, you'll see that we got the backpack on. So if we were to find something in the environment, you know, we'd be able to stash it in there, like, you know, any type of food item or a shirt or something like that, as long as we have a backpack with space to fit it in there. These are your security checkpoints. These will come into play, I think, more once the game gets more finalized. But right now, you just walk through them and there's nothing. Nobody stops you or anything like that. This here is if you commit a crime, and the crime is low enough to where the cops are not currently after you, then you come here. Like, say if you run into a ship or you do something illegal, then you'll need to log into here, and then you pay the citation here. Otherwise, if you die, you'll end up in prison. So I'm not sure. I think there's a minimum amount. Like, if you just have a 1-star kind of rating, then I don't think you'll go to prison if you die. I think you can pay that off. But if you have a higher one, I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while, but the prison system is a really cool, unique thing. So if you commit murder, you're going to prison the next time you die, or if you allow the military to find you and capture you, you'll end up in prison. You have to do labor to get out. You can also escape the prison. You can find ways to escape. This game has a lot of stuff. This is the traveler section, meaning that if you wanted to rent a ship, you could come here.
Hi, welcome to the store.
Click on the touchscreen, and you can rent ships. And you can see how much it costs to rent, like, say, a Titan for 1 day. You can change it up to 30 days, and you can see how much that'll cost you. That is if you want to try out a specific ship that you're thinking about buying, but you want to try it first to see if it's right for you, you can do that. Because you can also buy ships in-game. You don't need to purchase. It's one of the big things I need to make a note here, because everyone always harks on this game because there's packages out there that cost $15,000, which is ridiculous, yes, but that is for those that want to do it. It's not for, you don't have to do it. Every ship will be eventually purchasable in the game, and all the ships that are currently out right now are mostly purchasable in the game, and you just have to do, you know, tasks. You have to grind a little bit, right? That's what these MMORPGs are all about. You know, sometimes you have to do a little bit of grinding. You have to do missions to gain money. That money will eventually lead you to another ship and get the next ship, and you keep moving. That's like the whole point of the game, is to keep moving up and keep getting the different ships that you want and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and purchase. Welcome. You can do a quick buy. You just press it once. Pick it up. Now, I don't want to eat it right now, right? That's not something that I want to do.
You can always use your Mobi if you want
so
more details.
Notice how it says in the bottom right, you would need to take off your helmet in order to eat it, but we don't want to do that. You can attach, you can hip attach your helmet if you want. It tells you what to do, and you can store. Right now, I just want to store. So if you press the right mouse, that stores it. So we're also going to store a drink here. So quick buy, and then we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to store.
I think you're going to be happy with that.
Now, if we come out here and we hit I, because that's inventory, and it tells you it's stored it in our backpack. It'll always store it in the biggest location that you have instead of these areas. It'll always now we have these stored, meaning that anytime that we might be needing to drink or eat, we can do so by just going into our inventory and doing it.
I thought luxury had to cost extra and great customer service.
Hi. Good to have you. Stay at the luxurious accommodations. Tour Empire-class shipyards and bask in a sunset that is truly unforgettable. Whether you're just looking to see the
So what we're going to do now is we need to interact with the fleet manager. Only one ship is going to be, doesn't matter which one we do, only one ship's going to be available to us in this tutorial, even though I have about 5 or 6 ships.
To the ASOP
They won't be shown here. It's because this is a tutorial. So it gives you automatically the Anvil C8 Pisces for this tutorial only. You'll have a different ship depending on what package you bought the game with. Depends on which ship you have. So let's go ahead and hit deliver. This is going to tell you, so the way that the vehicle delivery system works now, it's a little bit different. It used to be that you could just call the ship anywhere you were and it would be there. Now it's a little different. Now the ships all start at a non-location, and you need to request delivery. So when you request delivery, now it's stored, okay? And so this specific ship is now here, located at this station, meaning that if I were to use another ship that is specifically here, let's say I land on a planet or I land on a station and that ship that I landed on is in there, but then I take out a different ship, well, that other ship that I left there is going to continually be there until you either come back to this location and get it, or you can ask for it to be delivered. Now, that delivery might take some time. The reason there's no time for the delivery here is because I am at my home station right now. So it doesn't really take any time for it to be delivered. So we'll click
Vehicle
retrieve.
selected. Stand by.
You can move around here.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
All right, so we're in a large hangar, and it's waiting for Center Strain 01's large hangar. This is new to me. See, I'm used to having it say it's on landing pad 1, 2, 3, 4, or hangar 1, 2, 3, 4. That's different now. We each have our own unique hangar, and mine is a large hangar. Let me explain why it's a large hangar. Because it's as big of a hangar as the biggest ship you have in your fleet. So if you have a huge ship, then your hangar is going to be huge because it needs to accommodate that ship. If you have just a starter ship, then it'll call it small. So if you end up, say, getting a medium-sized ship from you doing missions, then your hangar will get bigger, and then you'll have a medium hangar. So hopefully that explains how that kind of works. So take elevator to the tutorial ship's hangar. So you have the docking ports here. There you go. See, from now on, you just got docking ports. These ports are for ships that are massive and have to dock, as opposed to ships that can just be flown into a hangar. So here is my hangar specifically. No one can go to your hangar unless they're inside your elevator. I have not experienced any of this. This is the first time I'm literally going into Center Strain 01's hangar, so it's kind of fun. There it is. You can see we just made it. Do the nice little slow walk as we walk into our hangar here. So this is our own personal hangar. And there's that little ship. The reason that's just such a little ship is because it's a small ship they give you in the tutorial. But as I said, the ship that we own is a massive ship. And that ship would fit in this hangar just right. Which is why, obviously, our hangar is much, much, much bigger. So hangars look like they just did before, except now we can actually do different things inside the hangar. So you got your medical area here, meaning that if you are hurt when you come back from an area or location, I believe you sit in one of these beds here. I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, you would lie down and you'd be able to recover some of your health that way. All right, so we have these new freight elevators. And it tells you the max capacity is 896 SCU. So I guess when you do missions now that involve you to do cargoing and things like that, all that cargo will show up here, and then you need to put it in your ship. I don't know how any of this works. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever been here, so I'm not really going to dive deep into all of this. But if you would like to see me do a video on this, I have no idea what the freight manager is. I don't know how any of this works. That's something I can definitely do at a later point. You see, you got your warehouse, you got the elevator. I guess we can't really select anything right now because this is the tutorial. And the tutorial really only wants you to do what it wants you to do, so none of this is really even selectable for us. This is where you get another fleet manager, so if I wasn't doing the tutorial, I could click on here, a bunch of my ships would show up, and then what would happen is that this would lower, and then it would get a different ship for me. So if I wanted to choose a different ship, that's how I would do it. That's about all I know as of right now, but we're going to keep moving on for now. All right, so this is just, I don't even own this ship. This is just the tutorial ship, but some people might own it out there. It's a very, very nimble ship. This is a ship that comes inside one of the bigger ships, not the Corsair. I can't even remember the name. It's been so long that I've forgotten the names of certain ships. I used to be an expert. I used to play this game all the time, and it's been a while, so it's kind of nice coming back to it. But there we go. We opened it up. This is just your basic. You get the ship in a starter package, very small. All right, we've joined the comm channel for this area, so that's how you can differentiate who you can hear proximity-wise, because if there's a player that's close to you inside this area here, you'll be able to hear what they say via their microphone and stuff like that. As you can see, there's little places to put some cargo, so very small ship that has some cargo capability. You can transfer up to 2 people here, I guess, as well. And there's different components stored in all of these things here. But yeah, let's go ahead and sit down. All right, hold F to find the cockpit's flight ready button, or press right Alt plus R. So it used to be you just press R to turn it on, but they've changed it now. So there's 2 different ways you can do it. First of all, what you want to do is you want to hit Z. What Z does in either mode, if you're on the ground or if you're in a ship, is it releases your camera. So it allows you to be able to, so you hit Z once, like see right now, you can see that my camera's not really moving. It's hooked on the ship right now. So if I hit Z, now it's my own movement. It essentially just allows me to look around the inner parts of my ship here. So you can see there's different buttons to do. So you got flight ready. You can press this button to make everything flight ready right now, or you can do engines on, and then you can do other things. That's your exit if you look away. You can open the exterior. We can press F4 just like we're on foot. And again, if you look around here, because you held Z that one time, you're able to look around. You can see the ship from a different perspective. But we'll keep it there for now. If we hit F4 again, we're back in here. So what I want to do is we're going to click F for flight ready. There you go. Now some ships will have animations built in showing you turning your ships on. This is not one of them right now. So remember, you do have to press Z again in order to be able to go back into your ship's mode. So we're going to do that in just a moment. What I want to do right now is, I don't remember exactly what button. Let's see, to turn on the ship systems, hold F to find the cockpit. Flight ready. And again, you could do it again by doing power off.
All systems offline. Anvil Aerospace.
So not only that, it says you can do alternate R. Yep, and that turned it on as well.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
All right, so the next part, it's supposed to tell you what to do, although it doesn't look like it's updating just yet. Sometimes the servers can take a while. So let's just take a look at our ship real quick here. If you take a look, right there you can see it's no longer red. Those are your shields. You have 4 shields on the left, right, in front of you, and behind you. So you always want to wait till those shields are at max before you really start to take off, in case something happens to you. You need to request a takeoff, obviously. So you can request a takeoff by pressing, if you look at the bottom right, left Alt and N.
You are clear to launch.
There we go. Gateway is granted. Now, if we look up, you can see that's opening up. So you can keep it in this mode, but we're going to switch back to normal mode now. And then to get up, what we can do, there's a few different things. You see in the middle screen to the left, that little thing moving up and down, that's done by the mouse. So you can click the mouse to do that. Up and down. This tells you how quick you're going and how fast you're moving or whatever. It's kind of like your speed limiter. So what we want to do is we want to have this just above, probably about right here is fine, or you can even put it right here. And we're going to hit space to strafe up.
Takeoff complete.
Yeah, now we've taken off. What we're going to do is we're going to take up our landing gear, and landing gear is done with N. But we don't want to do it just yet, so we'll wait till we get out, because I don't want to hit N and have it auto land. So let's just go ahead and get out of this area just by doing space and going straight up. not updating. Okay, sorry about that. My wife had just sent me a message. So it looks like the tutorial is kind of bugging out because it's not updating that we took off, and it's not telling us to take off. So what's going to happen is it's not going to allow us to complete the tutorial, but I can go through because I know exactly what to do to complete this tutorial because I've done it many times. So again, you're going to get glitches and stuff like that, but it looks like it's not updating right now because otherwise it would tell us that we've already taken off and we've already done what we needed to do there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to press in. I'm going to show you. In takes up your landing gear. So now we're just pretty much free to fly around here. Again, you can do this. I've hit Z so I can look around. You're free to move around these areas and stuff like this. Very, very beautiful looking game, everybody. All right, so what I'm going to do now is we need to go up. So I'm going to hit Z again to make sure I'm controlling the ship. And then we're going to set up here. That's a player character right there. That's how you know. If you go 90, then that's like perfect. If you go more than 90, then you're essentially heading back down again. So obviously you guys know. You guys know, you know, that kind of thing. What we're going to do is we're setting this up here, and then we're just going to press W. We're going to hold it down. Holding down W means you're moving forward. I think it used to be C, but C does your coupled and uncoupled now, so it's a little different. Maybe it's Alt-C. Let me see if I do that. Yeah, okay, so it's Alt-C. So you need to press Alt-C to turn on cruise mode. Cruise mode allows you to be able to lock yourself in to the whatever speed you have with your mouse wheel. See how it moves up and down? I'm no longer touching the keyboard. This allows you to be able to go whatever speed that you want. It's cruise control, essentially. So as long as you have it set as high as possible, and don't let it particularly go into the red, then your ship will be able to maneuver very, very easy. Once it goes into the red, then your ship becomes a little harder to maneuver. Obviously, you want to keep your orientation correct. That way you're not accidentally going in the wrong direction. Now notice if you have it here, your orientation will change. So you want to keep it as close to the center of the dot as you can, so that way you stay like that. So, if we look, you'll now see, we'll hold Z so we can look around, that we're leaving the planet. And doing this right here would take quite a long time. So the game gives you like a certain height that you can go up before you're able to do a quantum jump. That way, you know, you're not sitting here forever while you're leaving the atmosphere. And essentially what you're going to want to do with that is we're going to go into the star map, which is by pressing R1, and then we go over here to the maps, and then here's Crusader. So we want to go to Seraphine Station. This is where the tutorial would normally take us. So I'm just going through the motions of the tutorial since it's already bugged out. So we're going to click on it. We can double click on it so it zooms in. It tells you what it looks like. You can see here it is. And then you're going to click route. So this should set a route, just like it did in the map when we were on the ground and we wanted to set a route, and it would tell us how to get there. So press F1. Now, what you're going to see is press Z again, so that way we can actually see what's going on here. All right, you can see the altitude says 105. Now you see in the middle of the screen below, like kind of the center, you see like a green little line. You want to line that up. See how the line's getting bigger? Because we've changed where we're going. And see how it changes? So what you want to do is you're going to press B. I believe it's B, unless they've changed it. They've totally changed it. You hold B in. Okay. So you're going to hold B in. So don't just press B, hold B. Now, you'll notice the blue thing that shows up. That's where Seraphine Station is. This did not used to be Seraphine Station, but they've changed it. Yeah, it's a little different now. So, all right. So once you've 100% calibrated, 100% spooled, and it's in blue, that means you're good to go. Now we can actually do this. So I'm trying to think. Ship flight basic movement. You can roll around with Q and E from the looks of it. Yep. You can strafe up and down with space and control. Space is up, control is down. All right. So it's 784 kilometers away. Now, we could just continue to go this speed right here, and we would be good to go. We'll eventually get there in a few years. We don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is, I'm trying to see, it says, all right, QT engage. If you look at the bottom right, this is why I said I'm not a big fan of the colors in the UI, because sometimes it can be really hard to see what certain things say, especially when you have a planet that's like a bright yellow in front of you. Also, if you go too far away, you can see that it starts to unalign and it gets uncalibrated, so you want to stay as close to this as you can. So that says QT engage is with the left mouse. So I'm going to click it. I might have to actually hold it. Okay, so I think you have to hold it. Yeah, so you got to hold it down to 2. So if you look, oh, we're already there. Boom, it was that quick. And you can see that we're already outside of here. Now, I know it didn't look like we at all left the planet, but that's because we quantum traveled. You could have literally left the atmosphere all you wanted to. You didn't have to do it the way that I just did it. You could take your time and do it so you get that full experience. Let's slow down a little bit. We're going to take cruise control off because we don't want the game to control that for us. Hold down B so we can take that down. And then here is the station we need to land at. See how the game still says to prepare for takeoff? So clearly the it's messed up. I've actually honestly have never gotten the tutorial to work. If you out there have ever gotten the tutorial to work, please let me know, because I've never been able to get it to work. All right, so what we need to do now is we're going to get close enough to where the station recognizes us. And you can turn your light on, I believe, by pressing L. It's either L or T. It's not T, because T is for targets. Okay, we should be close enough to where it recognizes us. So if we press alternate in, it should tell us here
Please proceed to assign landing
that we got a landing pad. So it's going to tell us where it is that we need to land. So we have to look around. Right there, Cinestrain 01's small hangar. So we just need to find that location. And again, you can do all of this in third person if you wanted to. All right, I usually like to really slow down here. Looks like ours might be on the... this here, yeah, so we're kind of like upside down and on the other side. So there it is. You can see that's the one that's open, Cinestrain 01's hangar. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put out my landing gear, which I just did, and we're going to set ourselves up
Deployed.
like this. Put ourselves about right here, and then I'm going to take an up-down look. That way we can actually see ourselves doing this correctly. So we can move forward just a little bit to make sure we're lined up. Now hitting control to go down. And, you know, we can do it as slow as we want to make sure that we're landing correctly. Alright, so you can see I need to raise up just a little bit. If you want it to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, just remember that. And once it lands, you'll know. There you go. Now, once you do that, you'll also notice that it'll shut at the top. So that'll automatically shut. Now, if you want to get out, it's pretty simple. What I used to do when getting out was I would hold down I, and then what that does is it shuts your engines off. You don't need to shut the ship off. Just shut your engines off. And then to escape, I don't know if it's still the same button or not. It's Y. It's still Y. You have to hold Y down. There you go. So this is exactly what you'd be doing for the tutorial. And then we are now on this location. We can hit this. And we have landed now at the station. So your pit menu is left, Alt, and F. There you go. So that brings up your personal inventory. So with this, obviously, you can wipe your helmet. Let's say if you're out in an environment and it's rainy and stuff, and you've got rain all over or the weather elements are all over your helmet, so you can see a little bit better. You've got your personal inventory here, so you can go into if you want to see that. This is also where you can remove your helmet too by, you can by placing it in your inventory, or you can place it in the. So it used to be, since the inventory was on the right side here, you used to be able to just take your helmet off and place it in the inventory here. Now you'd have to actually go to the kiosk to place it in there unless you wanted to put it in one of your backpacks. That's why you have the backpack, because you can see it's too big for that, but it's not too big for the backpack. So we can put it in the backpack. Another thing that you can do is take it off specifically by doing your Alt-F not personal inventory, sorry. I guess actions. Let's see, weapon selection, item actions, maybe player, prone, wipe, emote. So that's not it. Maybe item. There it is. Here we go. So we can attach it to our hip. Or you can helmet unequip and carry. So unequip and carry, I think, will make it a box attachment to the hip. I'm not sure exactly what that does. I don't actually see it on our hip, but I guess it's kind of like an invisible thing where it's on our hip. But I don't see it in my inventory. That's the only thing that I'm a little concerned about. So I have it supposedly attached to the hip right now. I don't see it on my hip, and I don't see it in my inventory. So I'm just trying to think, how would I be able to get it back? Helmet equipped. So even though you don't see it, it's still there, and it tells you down at the bottom below. If we press L, Alt, and H, it puts it back on, and you can see now it's back on. So, and I think you do the same thing to take it off. So L, Alt, and H is how you do that quickly. So here we are. We're on this space station now. We've landed. This is, again, our personal hangar. Although you'll notice that this hangar is significantly smaller. That's because this hangar is situated for the ship that we're bringing in, as opposed to the highest ship we have in the game. Yes, so even though we still have a freight elevator, it's a small one. We wouldn't be able to have our specific large ship spawn here. Once you would make this your place of residence, then you could have that. So, and I'll show you how exactly we do that. So we come over here, head back inside. You know that the elevator's called because it says it's called. All right. And we are going to head to the lobby. It's really quick. It'll take you right there. All right, so here we are. Now we have the internal map of this area, so if we needed to figure out how to get around. There's an actual player there, and you can see here's the fleet status, ships, and all that kind of stuff. The only problem with this is
to the ASOP vehicle retrieval
it doesn't have
system.
any of mine, and we can store it, so that means we stored it into this area, so now we can retrieve it.
Please visit us
It's
again.
no longer on the pad anymore. The problem is, because the tutorial didn't work, I am now stuck. I am now stuck on this because I could not get the tutorial to work. So I think once we were to get out of the game, it'll ask us again to do the tutorial or something like that. This is not something you'd have to worry about, but, you know, they still need to fix this tutorial. It's been long enough and been in here that it should work, but I've never honestly been able to get it to work. So now we're on a space station. You can see the space station is above the planet. You can see the sun is on the opposite side right now, which is why it was dark time when we were heading down there. Eventually we would move over because we orbit with the planet itself. So eventually we would move over to where we'd see the sun at some point. There's different areas in here that you can travel to. There's a little pizza joint. Okay, so this is how you get to the rest of the area. If you wanted to go to the shopping mall, then you would go in here and take the elevator. This is the North Star, the Easy Habs. So once you, let's say, you set this place as the place that you want to live, then every time you start the game, this is where it'll put you. If you quit the game, essentially. However, if you are on a ship, it'll keep you on that ship because let's say you slept in a bed on a ship, you'll wake up on that bed. But if you were on a planet or something like that, it'll automatically bring you back to here. I think that's still the function of the way it works. You can correct me if I'm wrong. What we want to do is head over to the medical area. So I just need to find out where it is. It should be over here. It's either left or right. There it is. All right, so you come over here to the medical clinic. Now, you can do this two ways. You can do it without entering the room, I think. But essentially what you would do is you would check in.
How may I help you?
Ask your med tech for optional medical services.
And it tells you which room to go
the
to,
terminals
room
should
1.
be able to handle your needs.
Or you could do this right here. So you could either just come over here and do your regeneration and automatically do it. So if you don't want to go through the process of going to a room, then you could just do it right here. But we'll do the process of going to the room. We just need to find 1. So this is rooms 5 to 8.
Guests are not urgent page for nurse rep.
And rooms 1 to 4. All right, 1's right here. So make sure you use some hand sanitizer first. Obviously, that would be cool if it actually does work at some point, but right now it doesn't. So we come into this room here. You can do this 2 different ways. Again, inside here, you can either do it right here with a digital medical assistant, or you can lay down. Let's lay down. So we're going to lie down. This is if you die, this is where you'll spawn. You'll literally be right here. You'll be in a medical gown as if you were in the hospital getting cloned. Essentially, you're getting cloned. So that's the whole premise of the game. Is that when you die, you're cloning yourself. Your body is still out there somewhere in the environment. You can go to your body and pick up whatever equipment you had on it at any point. But if we look up here, we can see we got the medical care. So if we were low on health, then we could select that and refill our health. This is a tier 1 bed, so this is the best bed that'll clear you 100%. If you're on a specific ship that has medical on it, it probably doesn't have tier 1, and you'll only be able to heal yourself to a certain extent. You'll still need to come back here to get yourself to 100%. So we're going to do regeneration. And this was our primary residence as of right now. It tells you it's 829 kilometers away. However, that's not what we're going to do. But you can do it from there. I went ahead and clicked out to show you what it's like to do it from the digital assistant here.
Feel better? Save more.
So same thing. So this is going to take us to Kelto RX Clinic, which is this location right now, and we're going to transfer imprint. So now our new location is right here. So when we quit the game and come back in, we are going to start in here inside one of the rooms. So I'm going to show you what that looks like now. So we can do this by exiting the game and go exit to menu. And it'll take you out. So give it a second. This can be a little iffy sometimes. Sometimes you have to restart the game entirely, and then we go back into the persistent universe. See how it says to play the tutorial again? We're not going to do that. We're just going to skip, and then we'll go enter that. So clearly the tutorial didn't work, but you're still okay. When you go out and you can go back in, you can try the tutorial again. It'll let you do it until you complete it, I guess. You're supposed to get a few credits on it, but again, I've never been able to successfully get it to work as of yet, so... It does look like, for whatever reason, our information panel kind of disappeared on us. So I have no idea what frames I was getting there towards the end. But essentially what's going to happen is... It depends. It could very well start me back at my normal place, and it has done that. Okay, so let me explain why. I can already tell you why it started us back here. It started us back here because of the tutorial. This won't happen if you click skip to begin with. Alright? So if you don't do the tutorial, you'll start at the place you started, then you go do your process, you go to your next planet, whatever you want to do, and boom, you will set your next area that you set to be your permanent spawn. You'll start at that area. It didn't work this time because we were in the tutorial and it locks you in the tutorial, and if the tutorial quits for some reason and doesn't finish its tutorial, then it'll keep starting you back here, essentially at the very, very beginning again. Probably with nothing in our inventory too. Let's see if it saved that. So this is not something that will happen on a normal basis. but I just want to find out if it still has our stuff. Yep, it still has our stuff. And does it still have our helmet attached? Let's see. And it still has our helmet attached. So everything is still the same. Just because of the tutorial, it's a little different, and it, you know, you can see that we're back here. But you would normally, doing what I just did, be at the place you just imprinted, but the tutorial, I guess, keeps you locked in. But now we're no longer at the tutorial, so I can show you a few extra things here, which is if we go into contracts, this is where you get all of your contracts, like say your bounty hunting or your cargoing, your deliveries, racing, salvage, research, mercenary, maintenance, all this stuff. That's on verified, meaning that these missions are verified and they will give you good, decent, like good reputation. If you go to unverified, then this usually means that you are working for nefarious organizations and you could get a crime stat and you could be wanted because you're going against the government in whichever area you're in or something like that. You're doing negative, bad things. So all the stuff in here can get you arrested. If you see it in red and it's unverified, it'll get you arrested. If it's verified, it's things that for the government and you should be, you know, okay. You've got the offers you have right here. And you have the accepted ones that you've accepted or currently working on, the ones you've done in the past. As you can see, those. See, test your flight says it was abandoned because it didn't work because it messed up on me. And then you got beacons, so people can create beacons to help each other out. Let's say someone gets stranded in space. They have no way of getting there unless they commit suicide, so they can call in a beacon to have a player actually come and get them, and you can ask for money or something like that if you want. It just depends. Yeah, and so the other thing here that we haven't taken a look at is the rep system. Essentially what this is, you have certain factions that you can work for by doing different things for them, and you can upgrade yourself. Like say this is a courier one, meaning that if you do delivery missions, you'll help yourself with the Ling family hauling, and then you can go up to applicant, junior runner. It looks like some of this saves a little bit because it says I'm a junior runner, so I guess some of it saves. But you'll have other factions too, like say if you wanted to get into bounty hunting, you know, you'd have to do the tutorial for bounty hunting. If you would like to see that, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to show you guys that. This specific here was just kind of seeing how the game ran, and I gotta admit, the game ran pretty good. I was getting good frame rates, decent frame rates to be able to run the game. I didn't really do much traveling around, so you didn't really get to see a lot of that as we just went from one planet to the space station. But if you would like to see more in all of this stuff, please let me know. I don't mind doing videos or maybe even a few live streams on this stuff again. I like to get back into Star Citizen. It's been a little bit of time since I played, so I wouldn't mind getting back into it. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at Star Citizen Alpha 3.24. Lots of updates, a lot more stuff you haven't seen. You haven't seen any of the first-person combat. You haven't seen any of the bounty hunting, you know, dogfighting in space, dogfighting on the ground or anything like that, like well, as far as where you have to go inside bunkers and things like that and take out whoever it is that you're supposed to take out, mercenaries of bounty hunting, you know, stuff like that. Or the cargoing or delivery, you haven't seen any of that. So if you want to see more, let me know in the comments, and I will be more than happy to show you. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's do some cheer. I love that. I didn't do it fast enough. What's really cool about this game is that you have like actions that you can do, which is player actions like emote. So if I wanted to, let's see, dance. A little chicken dance there. But there's all different types of emotes that you can do. It's pretty good stuff. This game is still a work in progress, obviously. This is the multiplayer open world version. There is also a single player version called Squadron 42 that you should definitely take a look at. That's going to be the one that's all scripted, taking you through a story with Mark Hamill, Henry Cavill, Gillian Anderson, Gary Oldman, Mark Strong. I mean, there's so many great actors that are going to be in that I definitely recommend. I believe they say it's going to come out next year. Not 100% sure yet. You can't play it yet, but there's all kinds of videos and information out there on it. So take a look. And I have videos on my channel too. So make sure you go on my channel page, click the search button, and just type in Star Citizen, and you'll find so many videos that I've done in the past showcasing the games and stuff like that. So with that being said, thank you all if you got through the entire video. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for the support that you do. Support the channel any way you can so we can continue to do this for as long as we can. And don't forget to leave a comment and a like, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. Bitches. Meow.